Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Wednesday, the 10th of February. Reading in Mark chapter 13, Jesus starts talking about the end times. It begins with the disciples drawing his attention to the magnificent temple. And he says all of these stones are going to be thrown down. There's going to be nothing left. And then he goes on and talks about the judgment that will come and the suffering. And as he speaks, there's sort of a double focus. The one looks to be looking to the destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70, and much of what he said would happen happened at that point. But there's also a longer term that he's speaking into, which is the second coming, when Jesus returns. And if we continue reading in verse 32, he says, "But about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. Be on guard, be alert. You do not know when that time will come." And reading the passage, it took me back to when I was at high school and a number of Christians were debating about the end times. And reading Daniel and Revelation, they had a paradigm in which the Cold War featured prominently. And this aspect of the prophecy referred to Russia, and that aspect of Daniel's vision was Cuba, and this aspect was East Germany, and this all pointed to the fact that Jesus was going to return in the next 2 or 3 years. Well, those 2 or 3 years came and went. The communist East went, and still no sign of Jesus. Jesus continues and he says to his disciples, the end's going to be like somebody going on a journey who leaves his servants in charge of his property. And he says in verse 35, "Therefore keep watch, because you do not know when the owner of the house will come back, whether in the evening or at midnight or when the rooster crows or at dawn. If he comes suddenly, do not let him find you sleeping. What I say to you, I say to everyone, watch." And ultimately that is the challenge, not to work out when Jesus is going to return, but to say whenever it is, we need to be ready. And as somebody pointed out in that high school debate, you need to be ready irrespective of when Jesus comes, because if a bus hits you this afternoon, that's it. You have no second chance. And so as Christians, we need to know that Jesus is coming again. We need to look forward to Jesus coming again, because that would be glorious. We need to make sure that we're ready. But let's not let that hold us back and direct our life. We need to be ready so that whether Jesus comes on next week Tuesday, or whether we get hit by a bus next week Tuesday, we're ready to step into glory, meet our Maker, and join him in eternity. And this is not an onerous thing to do. Jesus basically says, "Come to me." And so as Christians, we need to make sure that we are with Jesus, that we walk with him, that we live with him day by day, so that no matter what happens, we are in relationship with God. And then whether it's the end of the universe and the return of Jesus to establish his kingdom, or whether it's just some accident that takes us out of this world, we're ready for it. So know the God that loves you. Know his Son that calls you. Walk with him day by day, and be ready for glory. Be blessed.